Buddy, happy hump day. I think weather and everything all together, I don't know what to think. What's everybody doing? What's going on out there? I know as soon as I post this up, it takes a while for everybody to show up. Seems like. And then lately I haven't been staying on, but like maybe a half hour or something. Uh, I figure we talk about a little bit of everything. I'm okay with whatever anybody wants to talk about. I don't like that sheath. That little karambit thing, a little M-Tech funky thing. I don't use it much, but that's one thing I do like about them karambits. Do that. You can still hit it with that ring too. Pop. Or throw over the top. Slice, 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 slice. That's fun stuff. My wife will get too mad if I start chopping on that with the blade itself, but if I get it that little thump, I still get a little bit of practice. Anyways, first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Usually come on every Wednesday night, hump day, 7:30 Eastern time. And we talk about whatever you want to talk about. We talk about, I just wrote on there, knives, prepping, survival, just to have a different title, I guess. Still says hump day, hump day, hump day. So the overall prepping, survival, we'll start out with that. We are still slowly purchasing food. I think I'm moving now to mainly 30-year shelf life. Just so much more convenient and easier to move. I have been filling for months now. Big totes. I'll get them at one of the hardware stores here. You can even get them at Walmart. Been filling them with food and with pastas and rices and beans, and I've got some freeze-dried stuff like that too that lasts forever. It's already all put together and everything, and in the buckets it's just easier. It's just easier. It stacks so perfectly nice. The totes, I keep looking over there because I got another tote sitting there. I got to drag up and drag out. The totes are very nice. They're easy to stack, real convenient. The biggest thing with those are you're going to have to start, rotating through at some point. Throw some canned goods in there, throw the pastas in there, throw a whole bunch of extra stuff. Like the Dollar Tree is just like, boom, it's like load up. And I guess just talking with the prepping stuff, this stuff's all good. I've been trying to figure a way for everything that's going on around us. What's the best thing to put the money into right now? It's hard enough to have additional money. I know a lot of people struggling right now. And I took a big hit myself. Doing extra stuff on the side now just to have extra. It's not really extra. It's still probably under what I was making. But it's to have additional. How about we say it that way? And with additional, what are you going to be spending the money on? But personally, I wrote knives on there too. Personally, I want to get a few more blades. I'd like a higher quality blade. It reminds me before I get off and switch up. I found this Off the Grid company. I've seen some of their stuff before. They've got like a survival or an off the grid axe. It kind of looks like not a fireman's axe, but what do you call those things? It's kind of off the grid tool. It's interesting. And I was contemplating on getting one of their blades. It was like $100. I'm not opposed to having a decent. It's like D2 steel. Looks decent. Reviews look decent. Everything pretty much looks decent about it. On the fence still. I was looking at a couple of things I could probably get a review on, hatchet wise, stuff like that, which goes in with prepping because you need to have your weapons along with your tools. So it's not a bad thing. the survival stuff, we've got a couple of trips that we've got planned possibly for this year. So I'm going to try to get some video while we're out. And some of it, maybe a little bit of camping. It's good practice stuff. We'll do everything the hard way. Just to make it more fun, do it hard way, right? The hard way is always more fun. No, not really. Sometimes it's nice to just go out and relax too, but depending on where the one trip that we're going to go on, and I'm going to talk to the homestead survivalists too, I'm going to try to do a bring 3 items or bring 5 items, and that's all we go with, and try to get a weekend out or something. I don't know that I'll make that a whole week or anything, but good practice, I guess. Kind of more fun than it is practice, because it's not like Naked and Afraid or something where you're, there you go, see you in 30 days or something, 21 days, whatever it is, right? That would be fun, except for the afraid part and the naked part. If you got 5 things to bring with you and they drop you off and you already have clothes with you, but then it would be too easy. You take everything out of the whole thing at that point, I guess, right? Fun show to watch, though. I like watching that show. Some of them people freak right out, and some of them are beasts, or some of them get lucky and they end up coming across stuff. Make you think about survival. I've been looking into a couple more books. I've been trying to get into the bushcraft stuff last couple years, and I've learned a lot. And knowledge is light, so you don't have to carry that book. But just in case, having an extra book for a guide at some point that you might forget something or have a situation that you didn't think of, which goes along with prepping and survivalism and survival altogether. The weapons part of stuff I've focused on a lot, especially in the beginning, first moving to Michigan, especially because everything was just like, whoosh, it's all right here, man, you can have whatever you want. It was a lot different in New York, so it made me think a whole different way. My thoughts over there before I had moved, I was like, I know I got to get out of here, but my thoughts over there was like straight up, well, I'm going to fish for food, because the fishing over there, depending on where you were, was incredible. They got some okay fishing here, but I haven't really fished here like I did over there, as far as just the amount, maybe we'll say, of fish or something. I had some good days here. But that was like a big thing for me there, shotgun or 2 or something, and I'm just going to have this big bug out bag, and this thing's packed with food, but I had a bag bigger than this at the time, and it was just like, what do they call that, an inch bag? And they say, I'm never coming home or something like that, a bag like that. And that's kind of like what it was. I thought I'd be all right. I could pack some on the little kids and have them carry a little bit of their stuff, but it would have been rough just having the tactics of even simple stuff like perimeter defense or something like that, compared to what I had thought stuff might have been like. Because I think about it now, and I've talked to a lot of people since then, like, oh, SHTF, I'm gonna run to the woods, and I'm thinking. Now I think to myself, I was like, yeah, I agree, but then everybody's going to what? Fight over the same watering hole? Everybody's going to be nice when you get there? Everybody, stuff might always, not be what it looks like. It might not be what you think. Might not always be as it seems, I guess you could say. So, I went real weapon heavy when I got here. I had years of living somewhere where I couldn't when I was younger, and I didn't care. I fight. I'm not too worried about it. I had some rough times. Nobody does good with 3-on-1 as they always want to, or 5-on-1, or a few people with bats or something. Something always comes up where it's would have been nice to go, hey, please move back. I don't feel like getting hit with that, getting something broke on me, or a rib broke, or just your knuckles broke from smashing people. That little ASP baton helped me out a lot. I've got an ASP baton video. I've got a bigger one now since I moved here a year ago or something like that. I ended up getting a big, huge baton because I'm thinking to myself, well, you're not getting any younger, and yeah, that's just what it is. Nobody's getting any younger. Nobody's got any more free time than they did even, we'll say, a year ago. Your time. I feel like I've got more free time because I'm not doing as much overtime, but I've got other things to do that I couldn't get done, we'll say, during all the overtime. So time is a big thing for me. I'm running out. Running out of time. There's a certain amount of things I'd like to do. There's a certain amount of things I feel like I have to do for the next generation, for the children's. You got to make sure stuff's set up for them the best possible. It's like one of your biggest fears when you do all the prepping and you do all the survival stuff and you do everything is you dying. Because if you die, you're like, I don't care if I die today, tomorrow, it doesn't really matter to me. But at the same time, what are they going to do? What are they going to be stuck with? And just making sure that they have the... for right now, it's kind of weird too. The financial knowledge... anything that you want to pass down, anything that you would like to keep, preserve, we'll say, for the family, for the children. And at this point here, I've been talking to a lot of people, like, hey, what do you do if you do have that additional money? Do you buy more blades? Well, I could get some blade reviews and then I could show other people, like, hey, this one's good, or hey, that one's bad, or... So I'm thinking about getting a couple more blades, and I've got a main blade that I use. I've got a review on it on the channel. I'm thinking that I need something. I wanted to get one that was a little bit nicer. So at some point I may end up doing that this year. And where do you financially put your money with all the additional printing going on? And are we looking at some sort of economic collapse, or are we looking at, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. Everybody's always commodities. You got something, you can hold it. But then you think to yourself, well, if you don't have enough food, is it really good to be buying silver right now or gold? If you don't have enough bullets, you can't defend the food. Is it worth buying silver and gold? So I guess it depends on what level you're on. Can you make money with Bitcoin or any other type of cryptocurrency? Or should you just stick with your 401k from your employer that's going to end up being your retirement along with Social Security that you're not going to have? Or do you start a separate stock account? And say you came into $500 additional dollars a month, we'll say, just for an example. $500, you don't know where to put it. Are your food preps good? Do you have 3 months worth of food additional to what's in your pantry and everything off to the side? Even if it's just freeze dried or like Augustin Farms or Mountain House or any of that. Do you have the 3 months worth of food extra? And is that enough? Everybody's got their own thing. I'm in a city. I am probably going to do a little bit of gardening this year. I was not planning on doing it again. We just moved to the new place last year. I just didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I had quit drinking a couple years ago, and the garden is not as fun for me. It used to be kind of fun. You slam a pint of Crown Royal and you kind of walk around like, yeah, oh, that thing is growing. Now without the drinking, now I'm like, boring. Gardening's so boring to me. And I've been doing it for years, really. Actually, in the other spot, I ended up started to do like an edible landscape, from blueberries to raspberries to blackberries to pretty much anything you could think of, and then planting the additional peppers, the additional beans and stuff like that. And that would float you a little bit. That'll float you a little bit. So, do you have the 3 months worth of food? Do you have the additional $500? Do you have the? Do you have enough ammunition? And a big thing for me when I think of the extra money, or extra money. We said additional money, right? When I think of additional money, this month you could get an additional blade, right? We could get something that you can play with that doesn't run out of ammunition. Get some practice with these two. You don't want to just be a lot of people that have a knife, like, I got a knife, stand back. Well, this is not a defensive weapon, really. A knife is a more of a offensive weapon. So you got 3 months worth of food. Is it good enough for you? Then you go to, just write down the line. Do I have enough ammunition? Do I have the firearms that I want? Do I have enough gear? Do you have enough gear? Do you have the gear that you think you're going to need? I found out real quick the gear with the weapons training, it can make a difference. I can actually shave times off of shooting with the nicer gear, but it costs more. So is that a thing that's something that you need? Is it something that you're going to buy slowly? And just how to break down what you need. You get an additional $500 a month. Is it going to be something like, well, I've got some food. I'm going to spend $100 a month on more freeze-dried food. I'm going to spend $100 a month on ammunition. I'm going to put $100 in my separate stock account, because eventually, whether everything collapses or not, you might have to retire. You might not make it. You never know. This is what I'm saying. So where would you go with being prepared with everything, not just enough food and water, and I got a tent, and that'd be a miserable existence, right? You have a bug out location. You and your buddies meeting up in a spot. Do you have a mag group, like a prepper group, or do you have like a survivalist group, or part of a militia, or any of that kind of stuff? So it really just depends. But I'm thinking about a blade. I'm thinking about another hatchet. Just gotta work more, right? So you're gonna work a little bit more. You're gonna have a little bit more stuff. And is it worth buying the better product versus having two, because of the redundancy? I think sometimes that you say one is none and two is one. And with some stuff, I think that's true. With lighters, buy a 5-pack and buy 10 5-packs. You see where I'm going with that? They're disposable. But am I going to get a very nice blade, and will I buy 3 of them at $100 a piece? Well, probably not. You should be okay with that $100 blade. From a lot of the different blades that I've tried, you end up even sometimes at $30. You can find a blade. One of my main knives is only $30, and it's a charade knife, and I have beaten this thing. I've hit it with a hammer, splitting wood with it and a hammer, a regular hammer, just to see if it could take it. And I think I even have that on video. But that was a $30 blade. You could afford to buy 2 of those instead of that one, and have one just until it's worn right out, and then have another one. So that, I guess, redundancy in that point. Would you have to buy 2 ARs, or would you have to buy 2 AKs? It depends on which one you buy, I guess. Depends on how much you think you're actually going to use it. And it really depends if you're going out training every week, or even training once a month. Stuff is going to wear out quicker than if you're just buying it and setting it off to the side. But when you buy it and set it off to the side, you're not getting any better with it. Oh, which reminds me, like that case. Anyways, that pull. I did a pull last night, and it looks like, and it came up funky too. I put a best SHTF weapon, AK-47, and I try to put AR-15, and the auto corrects at AT-15. That's great. And then there's an other on there, and people commented on the other was 25%. We got, I forget what there was, an AR-10, Bren 2, Soup's World says Bren 2, Brent says his AR-10, Connor says N1 Grand, and then Doth says AK is best gun ever. So On the others, there was 25%. On the AT-15, sorry, AR-15, right? 31%. And at 44% comes in the AK-47. So my thoughts on that would be, what's your guys' thoughts if you didn't do the poll? I mean, overall speaking, geez, would I go AR or AK? It's probably going to be for me an AR. Now I've had the most training on the AR, so I am even more comfortable than when I was learning on the AK. And ammunition's lighter, the ergonomics are better. If you had to reload fast, it's easier. It's just a lighter setup, lighter and quicker setup, I would say. I mean, the magazines for the AR are, what is it, half a pound or something loaded if you got the P-mags or whatever. And then for the AK, it's a pound. You can carry twice as many mags, if nothing else. Every time you have to reload, I can press a button instead of reach under and rack. So I can save a second. Sometimes seconds are going to count, sometimes seconds are not going to count. But I'm thinking my bet's probably going to be the AR. That's going to be your mid-range. That's going to be your close range. Do I have other stuff? Yeah, you've seen some of it. I'm definitely not getting rid of my Scorpion, even though it's only 9mm. Oh, it's only 9mm. Yeah, but 1, 2, 3, 6 rounds. Binary trigger. That makes a difference. Doesn't matter what caliber. Doesn't matter what speed it's coming. Well, you just got 6 of them in like a second. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's just gonna suck. So, anyways, that was a poll. I like doing the polls. They're kind of fun. I think that had 16 votes on it. It's kind of crazy because you do a live stream and you don't even get 20 people. I've had it a couple times like that, but I think like 30, 35 people is like the most we had on a live stream. But this whole like algorithm thing, when you pop something like that up, it doesn't really have tags to the video, or it doesn't have anything that's drawing people into it. But we got almost 4,000 subscribers now, and we don't get many on the live stream. Some videos just flop. But if you put all sorts of crazy gun stuff up there, now they're flagging everything with guns. Every single thing. It doesn't matter. I don't know if you guys saw the strap video. It doesn't matter. I've got another one coming up that'll be flagged up. I got that Balder RL. I think it's a good picture of it. Got to finish the video. Maybe tomorrow, next day, something like that. I'll pop that video up. You can kind of see what it's like. Some dark. I did some of it black screen, right? At nighttime, basically pitch black. You can see what that thing looks like. It's like a 600 lumens, but it's bright enough people kind of shy away from it if they it would catch someone off guard. It's pretty bright. It's a little bit smaller than that PL Valkyrie I have. I got the Valkyrie on the AR, and then this one I put on the Glock 17. But overall, yeah, I would say just keep prepping. Whatever you do, and the prepping, not just the prepping. I don't know. I think I'm more of a survivalist than I am a prepper. And overall, because I lean way too much to the side of trying to be ready for everything instead of just canning goods in the garden. And I don't know, some of the preppers, they just buy their rifles and they sit there. And myself, I'm using that thing as often as possible, working additional jobs to try to get additional ammo. So I lean more that way, and tactics and training and getting as much as I can. I really want to go back. A couple of the guys from the judo gym that I was at that closed down, they going to another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school because we were doing Brazilian Croyler Gracie, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then judo, and they had kickboxing there and stuff. And it was real nice before all this, and now another spot had opened up. A few of the guys are going there. They say it's pretty good. I was stopping over there the other day. I'm like, all right, cool. I got, I'll be able to get some back and forth play going, and I get over to the door and they're like, oh, you got to put a mask on. I'll stick with what I'm doing. You guys have fun. You're supposed to be men. You're supposed to be tough, or I don't know what you want to say. Some of them act tough, I guess. Some of them, it just, to me, I can't see wearing a mask and I'm gonna physically be going back and forth with someone. As it is, every time I end up going back, I'm huffing and puffing again, and my cardio's off at first, and I've been starting to do a little bit more, off to the side, but it's definitely different grappling. So I haven't done any real grappling lately. It's really, really good exercise. It's incredible, but I'm not going to do it with a mask on. That's for sure. That's just crazy talk to me. But yes, I guess I just say keep going, and I'm trying to figure it all out myself. I've got a trading account that I like to trade stocks on. It took up too much of my time, so I think I'm just done with that for now. Crypto, I think I'm done with. You never know. And then silver, I've been thinking about it. Everybody's talking this silver squeeze, right? And I think I'm done with that. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a little bit more, but like, how much do you really want to carry? Because you get a half a pound worth of silver. Yeah, so there's and the ounces are different too. It's not a regular 28-gram ounce. It's 31.1 is the troy ounce. So just something I don't really feel like carrying it any extra weight if I got it to a spot. And that's more of a thing I feel like if we do have an economic collapse, yes, you could trade with it as long as stuff was still civil. But how civil do you think it's going to be if you have a collapse and nobody's got money for food? If you've got no money, if a loaf of bread is now $5,000, that would be like a hyperinflation situation. But what do you get from printing trillions, right? So I don't know. It really makes you think. And you get the stock account. I've got a regular stock account, personal, that I self-manage, you say, right? Like and I can buy and sell if I want, but I'm mostly buying like dividend stocks that are slower growth, but they give a kickback, whether it's monthly or quarterly. The dividends payout, and then you could take that money and then reinvest that money, so you don't have to constantly keep money, putting money into it. Once you get to a whatever level is comfortable for you, even a few $1,000s, if you're getting $20 a month or something, or $25 a month, we'll say something like that. It's still enough that you can purchase back in on some shares of whatever, or one extra share a month you get for free because your dividends kick back and it pays. So it's not a bad idea. You got to do it with money that you don't need. So it's hard to say you're going to need money or you don't need money, right? Because you're still buying your preps or your survival items, or maybe instead of putting your 100 there this month, you're going to spend 200 on ammunition so you can get some training. And getting training, brasstraining.com, right? Brasstraining.com. In Southwest Michigan, of course. It really made a difference for me when I did take professional training, in a sense that you might have learned, even if you take a piece away from every bit of training that you get, just like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus Judo. I got to learn the way Judo does it, and I got to learn the way Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does it. I did a little bit of Kali back in the day versus Eskrima. Got to do a little bit of Eskrima. This was years ago. But same idea, just a little different way of doing things. Wing Chun versus Jeet Kune Do. Got to play with a little bit of both of those. It's good to be diversified with stuff too, but it's hard telling where everything's going to go and how it's going to go. So you don't know exactly what to do. Nobody really knows. It hasn't happened here. We've seen stuff like this happen in other countries. A total collapse or a currency issue or something like that. You've seen it. Venezuela, Argentina, um, way back in the day, the Weimar Republic. There's just a lot of examples, but you don't know how crazy it's going to get where you're at. Having a bug out spot, some sort of a route figured out that you got figured out, and if that doesn't work, another 3 routes. So you gotta, plan A, plan B, plan C, even though you're not supposed to have more than one plan because whatever. Being able to adapt with a lot of things. So if you see the market's about to tank, you can sell your stuff off, sit on it for a second, see what happens, maybe buy back in, or sell it out real quick, send it back to your bank account. Yeah, I'm going to have to pay taxes at the end of the year, but now I can run over real quick and get a little bit of gold and silver before that pops. It seems like sometimes stuff like gold and stuff like that, it doesn't hit until, and I'm into this economics. I've been racking my brain for a couple days and really trying to decide what to do with it. I'm going to be posting more videos on YouTube too. I think I need to do more and more and more and more because as time gets closer to craziness, you see all the new proposed firearm laws and everything. As stuff gets crazier, you're going to have to be able to adapt and move a little bit quicker, I think. So by getting more videos up, getting more information out, I feel like maybe it might help somebody or I don't know. I can get some feedback. Maybe get some feedback here and there like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm thinking about pushing my money over here. Or, okay, I'm not even going to work this week. My second job, I'm just going to stay home and just do insane cardio or something like that for this whole next week just to get myself that much better because stuff does not look good right now. Things like that. And this way here we have a little bit more communication back and forth. It's great getting the feedback. I love the feedback. I feel like sometimes I put stuff out and I don't get enough feedback. So then maybe I feel like sometimes it wasn't a good enough topic that draws enough attention or someone else hadn't thought of that. Or maybe they have, but that was before. And then they were just like, yeah, maybe I'll give it a thumbs up, but I'm just going to go to the next video or a different video or... So, I guess that's all I got for tonight. I would keep doing what you're doing. I'm definitely going to be on a little bit more of an ammo hunt, I think, in the next couple weeks. Ammo and ways of generating additional streams of income. Some of the dividends, whatever. I've been thinking that maybe I'll end up... I don't know if it's the right time or not. Maybe get another property. But if everything crashes, then what happens? And so there's where your doubt starts coming in. So it's been a lot to think about lately. But if I got a spot for the business where we could train at any given time, opportunity could be endless. Maybe there's not enough people in the area that would want to train, but at the same time, it would be a spot that I could go and train. Could have it a second location to stash stuff. I don't know if you do that in a spot where you're going to have the public showing up all the time. But, yeah, so let me know what you think. And when I do end up purchasing a few things, I'll end up posting them up. I've got to finish the video on the Balder from Olight there. I'll finish that up. I'll post it up, and then I'll just see what the rest of the week brings. I'm thinking about doing, just posting more, just getting more information out there, and trying to get the feedback. So, thanks for watching. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. The thumbs up always helps because none of my live streams go anywhere. They usually flop pretty hard, but I kind of have fun doing it because even though I don't get as many people on here, I still get to think. So now when I shut this off, I'll go back and say to myself, you know what I was thinking? Maybe I should have said that, or You know, that leads me to another point. I think too much. It's crazy. Anyways, have a good night.